Good afternoon, beautiful people. Here we are in beautiful, sunny Florida. Today I'm going to be reading about the affidavit. Yes, today I'm going to be reading the affidavit of probable cause from Ron Ball. I'm going to be reading in this live the entire affidavit that got Chad Daybell with his new charges. Those charges that we heard in the court session yesterday is what this affidavit will be telling you, what the information that the police had. So basically, an affidavit of probable cause is a sworn statement, typically by a police officer, that outlines the factual justification of why a judge should consent to an arrest or a search warrant. And there's other reasons too, but we'll just stick with that. They needed a search warrant of Chad's house, and they needed to charge him as a co-conspirator. So here we go. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to start reading the affidavit, and then we will talk when I'm done reading the affidavit. Okay. So the first part is, of course, it's the state of Idaho, the plaintiff versus Chad Guy Daybell. Date of birth, 1968. This is in the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the state of Idaho, in and for the county of Fremont Magistrate Division. This is case number CR 2220-0755. This is, again, a probable cause affidavit of Detective Ron Ball. And it starts out with Ron Ball's police kind of resume. So I'm going to read what it says. Lieutenant Ron Ball of the Rexburg Police Department, being first duly sworn under oath and depose and state as follows. The information contained herein is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. I am a detective with the Rexburg Police Department and have been employed in law enforcement for more than 27 years. I am currently the lieutenant over investigations for the Rexburg Police Department. I currently hold an advanced certificate and a management certificate from the Idaho Peace Officers Standards and Training Academy and have over 2,500 hours of training. I have attended multiple trainings and classes and have over 2,500 hours totaling. I have attended multiple trainings and classes throughout my career, including graduating from the FBI National Academy in 2015. I have received multiple hours of specialized training in investigations. I have also conducted numerous investigations and interviews with suspects, victims, and witnesses involving narcotics, sex crimes, and fraud. I have also received numerous hours of training on traffic stops in detection of criminal behavior. Since November 26, 2019, the Rexburg Police Department has been involved in the search for J.J. Vallow, date of birth May 25th, 2012, hereinafter referred to as JJ, and Tylee Ryan, date of birth September 24th, 2002, hereinafter referred to as Tylee. The search for these children began when Kay Woodcock, JJ's grandmother, called Gilbert, Arizona Police Department to report that she had not had any contact with JJ for several months. Gilbert police I contacted the detective Ray Hermosillo of the Rexburg Police Department. Due to the Rexburg Police Department helping the Gilbert police with an investigation in which JJ and Tylee's mother, cousin, and uncle were persons of interest. So, of course, I'm going to interrupt this right here. Tylee's mother, of course, was Lori Vallow. The cousin was Melanie Pulowski, and the uncle was Alex Cox. Okay? Just to clarify that. JJ and Tylee's mother, Vallow, hereinafter called Vallow, has been charged with 2 felony counts of desertion of a minor child, 1 misdemeanor count of resisting and obstructing, 1 misdemeanor count of solicitation to commit a crime, and 1 misdemeanor count of contempt. The contempt charges for failing to comply with an order in a child protection action in Madison County, Idaho, to produce JJ and Tylee to the Rexburg Police or the Department of Health and Welfare. Vallow was required to produce the children by January 30th, 2020, and refused to do so. Tylee was 16 years old at the time she went missing, and JJ was 7 years old when he went missing. Until this time, law enforcement has stated that Tylee was 17 at the time she went missing, because we were not aware that she was missing until several months after her 17th birthday. However, we now have reason to believe she was killed before her 17th birthday. Chad Daybell, hereinafter referred to as Daybell, was present in Kauai, Hawaii on February 20th, 2020, when Vallow was arrested on the felony desertion charges. I was present at that arrest. Daybell was also present at Vallow's March 6th initial appearance in Madison County, Idaho. As such, I know that Daybell was aware of felony charges directly related to the location, health, and well-being of the minor children named above. Daybell and Vallow were married on November 5th, 2019. Daybell's first wife, Tamara, referred to Tammy Daybell, died the night of October 19, 2019, in Fremont County, Idaho. Tammy's death is still under investigation. The last verifiable sighting of Tylee was on September 8, 2019, in Yellowstone National Park. The last verifiable sighting of JJ was September 22, 2019, in his mother's apartment, located at 565 Pioneer Road, 175 Rexburg, Idaho, by Lori's friend Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. While the Rexburg police and FBI have received many tips of alleged sightings since the beginning of the case, none of these tips have led to any verifiable or actionable information regarding the health, safety, or location of the minor children. Vallow moved to Rexburg on or about September 1, 2019, with Tylee and JJ and her brother Alex Cox. Vallow resided with her children at 565 Pioneer Road, unit number 175, Rexburg, Idaho. Cox resided in the same complex, initially living in the same unit as Vallow, and then moving into his own unit at 565 Pioneer Road, unit number 107, Rexburg, Idaho. On November 26, 2019, Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope from the Rexburg Police Department went to Vallow's home located at 565 Pioneer Road, number 175, Rexburg, Idaho, to to conduct a welfare check. Detectives Hermosillo and Hope met with Cox and Daybell outside the residence. Detectives, yes, Daybell acted as if he did not know Vallow very well and stated he did not know her phone number. Cox told the detectives that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, in Louisiana, which was not likely to be true due to the fact that Kay was with the individual who was first called in a missing child report to the Gilbert Police Department. Cox said Vallow may be in the apartment number 107. Hermosillo and Hope went to the apartment number 107, but the apartment was completely empty and vacant at the time. They called me and Detective David Stubbs and asked me to come to the premises to help search for JJ. Shortly after calling me, Detective Hermosillo called me again and indicated that he saw Daybell driving a black Chevrolet Equinox away from the residence. Detective Hermosillo stopped Daybell and asked him again if he had seen JJ. Chad responded that the last time he had seen JJ was in an apartment 107 in October. He also admitted he knew Vallow's phone number and provided it to Detective Hermosillo. On that same day, myself and Detective Stubbs located and spoke with Vallow in her apartment number 175. We identified ourselves as RPD officers. Vallow told us that JJ was in Gilbert, Arizona with a friend named Melanie Gibb. We obtained Gibb's phone number from Vallow. This encounter was recorded on body cam. We ended our contact with Vallow and immediately attempted to call Gibb. We were unable to contact or speak with her at the time. Vallow also informed Rexburg Police Department that Tylee was attending BYU, Idaho, and living with Vallow. Because Detective Stubbs and I were unable to contact Gibb, we immediately contacted Vallow again, and we requested that she call Gibb. At this time, Vallow told us that Gibb and JJ were at the movie Frozen 2, so it was unlikely Gibb would answer the phone. We instructed Vallow to call Gibb and have Gibb contact us so we could verify the location of JJ. By the evening of November 26, 2019, we had still not heard from Gibb, so RPD informed Detective Ryan Pillar of the Gilbert Police Department of the information we had received regarding the children being with Gibb. Detective Hermosillo was informed later that evening around 9:30 p.m. that Gilbert police went to the home of Gibb. Gibb was not home, but Detective Pillar contacted her by phone, and she stated that JJ was not staying at her Arizona house and had not been there for several months. On December 6, 2019, Detective Hermosillo was contacted by Gibb, and she informed us that both Daybell and Vallow called Gibb on November 26, 2019 at separate times. She was contacted first by Daybell, who told her that she would probably be contacted by the police in regards to JJ's location, and he then asked her to not answer the call. Gibb informed Rexburg Police Department that she was confused by this request because she had been told by Vallow in late September or early October that JJ was living with Kay Woodcock, who is JJ's grandmother. Gibb asked Daybell if JJ was living with Kay, and he told her that JJ was not with Kay. Gibb was soon thereafter contacted by Vallow on her phone. Vallow asked Gibb to tell the police that she had JJ and asked Gibb to tell the police that she had taken JJ to the movie Frozen 2. Vallow further asked Gibb to take a picture of some children in a manner that would make it appear that Gibb had JJ with her and to send that picture to police. Gibb informed Vallow that she would not lie to the police, and Gibb did not comply with Vallow's request. Gibb first met Vallow in the fall of 2018. Gibb introduced Vallow to Daybell in St. George, Utah, at a Preparing a People conference. In early 2019, Gibb was present with Vallow during a telephone conversation between Vallow and Daybell. This conversation was in a response to a vision of Vallow that her husband Charles Vallow and her son JJ were going to die in a car accident by January 1 or January 2 of 2019, which did not happen. During and after the conversation, Vallow told Gibb that Daybell had informed her that while Charles had not physically died in an accident, his spirit had left his body and had been replaced by another spirit, which was a dark spirit. The dark spirit was named Ned Schneider. Gibb has informed law enforcement that the word zombie was introduced weeks after the initial conversation to describe an individual whose spirit has left their body and been replaced by another spirit. The new spirit inhabiting a person's or zombie's body was always a dark spirit. At some point after Gibb first learned this doctrine from Vallow and Daybell, she was informed by Vallow and Daybell that they believed it was their mission to rid the world of zombies. When Vallow initially spoke to Gibb about getting rid of zombies, she spoke about saying prayers to remove dark spirits from the human bodies they had inhabited. This information has been corroborated by electronic communications made by Vallow and Daybell. After the death of Daybell's wife on October 19, 2019, Gibb was informed by Vallow that when a person becomes a zombie, their original spirit left their body and entered limbo and is trapped and cannot progress to paradise. Vallow then informed Gibb that for the person's original spirit to be freed from limbo, the person's physical body had to die, despite the teaching that a physical body needed to die. Gibb reports that she was never told by Vallow or Daybell that they planned to carry out a physical killing themselves. At the time Gibb was told this information by Vallow, she was still under the belief that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, and Tylee was at BYU, Idaho. Melanie Gibb has further informed Rexburg Police Department that sometime in the spring of 2019, before the death of Charles Vallow, that Lori Vallow called Tylee a zombie. Gibb was on the phone with Lori and heard Lori call Tylee a zombie, to which Tylee responded, "Not me, Mom." Upon the unsealing of my probable cause affidavit in State versus Daybell, CR 22200755, Gibb spoke with me and clarified that Lori herself told Gibb that Tylee responded to being called a zombie by saying, "Not me, Mom." Gibb did not hear Tylee say these words herself. This arose out of Lori requiring Tylee to babysit JJ, and Tylee did not want to. Lori Vallow also told Gibb that Tylee had turned into a zombie when she was 12 or 13, which is approximately the same time Tylee had become difficult to deal with. I am awfully sorry about the lawnmowers and the weed whackers. That's the way of this neighborhood. Gibb has further informed me that she was told by Daybell and Vallow that they held the religious belief that they were part of the Church of the Firstborn, and their mission in that church was to lead the 144,000 mentioned in the book of Revelation. On January 26, 2020, a search warrant was served on Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow in Kauai, Hawaii, where they were living and on their vehicle. The children were not found with Chad and Lori in Hawaii, and no evidence was found to suggest that they were living with Chad and Lori. Through this investigation, we have discovered that J.J. Vallow was registered at the Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg the first week of September of 2019. No, I'm not sure. Can you guys, can someone do a thumbs up to see if you're hearing me? Can you, or a thumbs down? It really doesn't matter which way. Can someone do a thumbs up on this video or a thumbs down to let me know that you're here, that you can hear me? If not, I'm going to start over again. Can you hear me? I am awfully sorry about that. Let me see. I'm going to see if you can hear me. This is a station break to rest my mouth and to see if you guys can hear me. Yes, it looks like people can hear me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to continue to read the statement. Okay. As mentioned before, hold on one second. As mentioned, the last variable sighting of Tylee was in Yellowstone National Park on September 8, 2019. Photographs established she was there with her mother, Lori Vallow, her brother, J.J. Vallow, and her uncle, Alex Cox. They drove there in Alex's silver Ford F-150. This trip was further established by tracking the GPS, cell tower connections, and Google account information on Alex's phone. The cellular analysis survey team, hearing after referred to as CAST, is an FBI unit that provides analysis of cell phone records and presents the information to law enforcement. CAST has analyzed Alex Cox's phone and provided the location information mentioned in paragraph 25. The CAST analysis provides the location of Cox's phone Due to my training and experience and common knowledge, I am aware that most individuals now keep their cell phones with them at all times, and the location of an individual's phone can be used to establish the location of the owner of the phone. CAS uses a cellular devices, GPS data points, cell tower connections, Wi-Fi connections, and Google tracking information to establish the location of a cell phone. The GPS data points used by CAS are considered to be highly accurate and can place the device within a 6-meter radius. CAS has further informed law enforcement that Cox's phone exited the west entrance of Yellowstone National Park at 1840. His phone appeared to be at Buckaroo's Barbecue Grill in West Yellowstone, Montana from 1845 to 1902. Cox then returned to Rexburg, Madison County, Idaho at approximately 2037. The phone was then at Lori's apartment number 175 until 2035, at which time Cox appeared to go to the Maverick on Main Street in Rexburg at 2143 until 2153. Cox then went back to Lori's apartment from 2244 to 2315. Now, at 2344, Cox's phone is located at his residence in apartment 107. On Monday, September 9th, from 00, so 12 a.m. to 44 minutes past 12, Cox's phone was located at his apartment 107. However, at 2:42, so 2:42 a.m. to 3:37 a.m., Cox is located again at Vallo's apartment 175, where Vallo lived with Tylee and JJ. This is significant, not only because he is there in the middle of the night, but also because this is the only time in September he appears to go over to Vallo's apartment between midnight and 6 a.m. At 4:37, Cox went back to his own apartment, Unit 107, until 8:59. At 9:21, he was located at property with the address of 202 North 1900 East Rexburg, which is the residence of Daybell. It should be noted that while Chad Daybell's address is listed as Rexburg, it is actually located in Fremont County, Idaho. The 921 reading is a GPS data point and places him behind the home on Daybell's property east of the barn. Cox's phone was still at the Daybell residence at 10:39. At 10:47, his phone shows a hit at the city of St. Anthony. At this time, we are unable to tell if he was actually inside the city limits of St. Anthony. St. Anthony is about a 5-minute drive from the Daybell residence, or if this was a cell tower ping on his phone while he was still at the Daybell residence. At 10:57 to 11:39, Cox is located at the Daybell property. At 11:52 to 12:02, he was at the Del Taco in Rexburg. He appears to spend most of the rest of the day in his apartment. Through this investigation, the Rexburg Police Department and FBI have seized, searched, and analyzed multiple cellular devices pursuant to search warrants. On June 1, 2020, I was informed by Special Agent Ricky Wright of the FBI that the FBI had been examining a phone believed to be owned by Tammy Daybell. The FBI found a text conversation between Tammy and Daybell on September 9th, which is the day after the last known sighting of Tylee in Yellowstone Park. The text conversation reads as follows. Daybell to Tammy at 11:53 a.m. Well, I've had an interesting morning. I felt I should burn all of the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storms. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and I got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Fun times. Daybell to Tammy at 11:56. Gonna shower now, then go right for a while at BYU. Love you. Tammy to Daybell at 2:47 p.m. Good for you. Daybell to Tammy at 2:48 p.m. I'm back home now. I found the text suspicious because raccoons are normally nocturnal animals and not regularly out during the day. Matt and Reagan Price, Daybell's neighbors, have informed law enforcement that Daybell's son, Garth, told them that Daybell had shot a raccoon sometime between July and August of 2019 during the day. Garth told Matt Price about the raccoon in response to a question from Matt about hearing a gunshot. The Prices informed me that the fire pit in the back of the Daybell property was hardly ever used until the last few months. Reagan informed me that there appeared to be frequent bonfires in the pit on the Daybell property over the last few months, and the first one she noticed was soon after Tammy's death on October 19, 2019. On June 2nd, 2020, Detective Bruce Mattingly of the Fremont County Sheriff's Office contacted Samantha G. William, who is the sister of Tammy Daybell. He asked her if she was aware of a pet cemetery on the Daybell's property in Idaho. She informed him that she was aware of the pet cemetery and stated that both she and Tammy were pet people and that they had both had pet cemeteries. When asked the location of the pet cemetery on the Daybell property, she stated that it was the east of the Red Barn near the fire pit. On June 4th, 2020, I spoke with Samantha and she informed me that she was aware of the location of the pet cemetery on the Daybell property because Tammy had shown it to her. Samantha was then shown an aerial photograph of the Daybell property, and she pointed to the same area near the fire pit where Alex Cox's phone pinged on September 9, 2019. The above facts established that Alex Cox appeared to be at the Daybell property on September 9, 2019 until at least 11:39. Chad sent the text to Tammy about burning debris and shooting and burying the raccoon in the pet cemetery only 14 minutes later at 11:53. The pet cemetery referenced by Chad Daybell is located at the same location as most of the pings on Alex Cox's phone on September 9, 2019. On June 3rd, 2020, I again interviewed Gibb and her boyfriend David Warwick in Pleasant Grove, Utah. We discussed in depth the weekend of September 22 and 23, 2019, due to the fact that both Gibb and Warwick stayed at Lori Vallow's residence in Rexburg that weekend. Gibb informed me, consistent with the information she had previously given to law enforcement, that she arrived in Rexburg on September 19, 2019. Soon after she arrived, Lori Vallow informed Gibb that JJ had become a zombie and pointed out behaviors such as sitting still and watching TV, claiming JJ said he loved Satan, and he increased his vocabulary as evidence that JJ was now a zombie. Gibb observed JJ's behavior and felt it to be the same as she had always observed it. The last time Gibb and Warwick verifiably saw JJ was the night of September 22, 2019. Warwick informed me as that it was late and that Gibb, Vallow, and Warwick were going to do a podcast. Warwick said that Vallow told him that JJ was acting up, and so Cox took JJ to his apartment in the complex. When Cox returned later that night, he was carrying JJ, who appeared to be asleep with his head on Cox's shoulder. Warwick specifically remembered this because he saw it as a tender moment. Warwick further informed us that when he woke up that morning of September 23, 2019, he asked Vallow where JJ was. This was between 8 and 9 a.m. Vallow informed Warwick and Gibb that JJ had been acting like a zombie and had been crawling on the kitchen cabinetry and had gotten on top of the cabinetry in the space between the cabinetry and the ceiling. She informed Warwick and Gibb that when JJ had climbed upon the cabinetry, that he had knocked a picture of Jesus off the refrigerator. Vallow then informed Warwick and Gibb that Cox had come and taken JJ. At no time during this interaction with Vallow did Gibb or Warwick believe that JJ was in danger. Vallow had not said anything about harming JJ or having Cox harm JJ. Approximately 1 week after Gibb's September visit to Rexburg, Vallow informed Gibb that he had arranged for JJ to go live with the grandma, Kay Woodcock. Vallow further told Gibb she had told Kay that she had cancer in order to convince Kay Woodcock to take JJ. Vallow further elaborated to Gibb that she had traveled with JJ and handed him off to Kay in an airport. The FBI CAS team had analyzed Alex Cox's movements the morning of September 23, 2019, by his cell phone GPS. At 9:55, Alex is again at Chad Daybell's property. He was there until 10:12. This pings on his phone locate Alex near the pond on Chad's property at the northern edge of the property. Chad Daybell's property is located in Salem, Idaho, in Fremont County. On June 3rd, 2020, I asked Special Agent Ricky Wright of the FBI to analyze the frequency of Alex Cox's visits to Chad Daybell's property during the month of September 2019. His response was A. Per your request, I checked the visits by Alex to Chad's house again. There were only 4 visits by Alex during the month of September. These were on September 6th, 1:24 through 12:53. And then on September 9th, 9:23, so September 23rd and September 25th, from 1005 to 1022. During the two visits on September 6th and September 25, all the pings were in and around the house. And there were no pings anywhere in the backyard, near the fire pit or pond. As you can see, these visits were also short, about 11 minutes and 17 minutes, like the one on 9/23, that was 17 minutes. The visit on September 9th was the only long visit. It was approximately 2 hours and a half. On June 9th, 2020, a search warrant was executed at the Daybell's residence and property with the assistance of a local FBI ERT team relocated at multiple sites of interest. These sites were identified and corresponded to the cellular data of Alex Cox's phone where he was on the property, mentioned in paragraphs 12 through 16. Additionally, one of the possible sites correlated to a location on the property Chad had texted his wife about, mentioned in paragraphs 17 and 18. The first site of interest was located on the north side of the pond near the north edge of the property. The site corresponded with the two GPS pings from Alex Cox's phone on September 23, 2019. A patch of ground was located that appeared to be disturbed. The weed growth on top of the disturbed ground was shorter than the surrounding weed growth. What appeared to be sod etching was also noticed. The disturbed area was approximately 4 feet by 2.5 feet. Members of the FBI ERT team removed the top layer of sod. Underneath the layer of sod were several large flat rocks. The rocks were removed and two pieces of flat paneling were found. The paneling was removed and investigators exposed a round object covered in black plastic. Similar paneling was found in a barn located on the property. Upon exposing the round object covered in black plastic, a strong odor was noticed. An FBI ERT member used a small, sharp instrument and made a small incision in the plastic, and a layer of the white plastic was observed. An incision was made into the white layer of plastic, exposing what appeared to be human remains. The crown of a head covered in light brown hair. The remaining dirt around this object was methodically removed, exposing what appeared to be a body wrapped in black plastic. The plastic appeared to be tightly wrapped around the body and secured with gray duct tape. Cheryl Anderson, Associate Professor of Anthropology at Boise State University, was present on the scene and advised the remains found near the pond appeared to be human. As noted above, the GPS on Alex Cox's phone pinged twice on September 23rd, 2019, near the first site where human remains were found. The GPS records indicate that Cox was at that location for a total of 17 minutes on September 23rd, 2019. Due to the depth and the width of the grave the body was located in and the rocks and paneling found in the grave, it would be impossible for one person to have dug that grave, placed a body in it, placed the rocks and paneling in the grave, and covered it back up in 17 minutes. A second site of interest was located behind a red, unattached outbuilding located roughly in the center of the property near a fire pit. Next to the fire pit is an area used as a pet cemetery. This site correlated to several GPS pings of Alex Cox's phone on September 9th, 2019. Ground in this area was probed with a steel pole and several areas of disturbed ground were located during a search of this ground. A buried cat and dog remains were found. No raccoon remains were located. A backhoe was used to dig further layers of dirt. While doing this, bricks were located approximately a foot below the ground. Once the bricks were discovered, the soil was examined and what appeared to be 2 bones were located. Based on the condition of the first bones found, Cheryl Anderson was not able to determine whether the bones were human. Methodically, the dirt in this area was searched and several other items of interest were found, including other bones, charred tissue, and charred bones. Cheryl Anderson indicated these additional bones, both charred and uncharred, and tissue found were human remains. Investigators provided photos of some of the partial remains that were found at the pet cemetery to Sarah Getz, PhD, a forensic anthropologist. Dr. Getz was able to identify these remains as being non-adult human remains. Around the time the head mentioned in paragraphs 44 through 50 was discovered, Chad Daybell was observed leaving his daughter's residence in a gray SUV. I and other officers pursued him in police vehicles, conducted a traffic stop, and detained him due to the fact that the human remains were discovered on his property. On June 11, 2020, I observed the autopsy of the body described in paragraphs 44 through 50. The body had not yet been removed from the plastic covering it was found in. As the body was uncovered and the face exposed, it was clear to me that this was the body of J.J. Vallow. The body was well preserved. While I had never met J.J. Vallow during his life, I was familiar with his face due to seeing many pictures and videos of him. I was further familiar with his haircut in the pictures I had seen of him in Yellowstone, which was shaved on the sides and back and longer on the top. JJ was further identified by Brandon Boudreaux, who was shown an autopsy photograph of the body and face and was able to verify the remains were JJ. On June 11, 2020, I also observed the autopsy of the human remains described in paragraphs 51 through 55. It was not possible to identify those remains by simply looking at them, as they were too damaged by fire and dismemberment and no longer had any recognizable features. However, Dr. Glenn Smith, an orthodontist and deputy coroner in the Ada County Coroner's Office, was able to identify these remains as belonging to Tylee Ryan by matching an irregular jawline with an x-ray of Tylee when she was alive. Despite identifying Tylee, law enforcement was advised that it would still be wise to obtain a DNA verification. We were informed that sufficient soft tissue existed, which was not burnt. Sufficient soft tissue existed, which was not burnt, that he would not be able to test the DNA. Wait a minute, I'm going to read that sentence over. We were informed that sufficient soft tissue existed, which was not burnt, that we would be able to test the DNA. We are in the process of having said tests performed. On January 16, 2020, a child protection action was filed by the state of Idaho in Madison County on behalf of JJ and Tylee. This case number is CV 3320-0045. The court ordered Vallow to produce JJ and Tylee within 5 days of service of the order to the Rexburg Police Department or the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare in Rexburg. Vallow was served that order on Saturday, January 25th, 2020 by Detective Chad Cataluna of the Kauai Police Department. Vallow refused to produce the children and never complied with the order. Alex Cox died on December 12th, 2019 in Maricopa County, Arizona. His death has been ruled to have been caused by natural causes. Due to the facts listed in this affidavit, probable cause exists that Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow, and Alex Cox conspired to commit the crime of concealing and destroying, altering evidence they knew would be produced, used, or discovered as evidence in a trial proceeding, inquiry, or investigation involving a felony. Chad Daybell performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Texted Tammy Daybell and told her about burning debris and burying a dead raccoon in the pet cemetery on September 9, 2019. Deceptively acted as if he did not know Vallow very well and did not know Vallow's phone number when questioned by the Rexburg police on November 26, 2019, despite the fact they were married at the time. Alex Cox performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Told Rexburg police on or about November 26, 2019, that JJ was with his grandmother, Kay Woodcock, in Louisiana. Transported JJ Vallow from Madison County, Idaho, to Chad Daybell's property in Fremont County on September 23, 2019. Lori Vallow performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Telephoned Melanie Gibb and asked her to lie to the police about the location of JJ. Asked Gibb to create false evidence of JJ's existence and location. Falsely informed the Rexburg police that JJ was in Arizona with Melanie Gibb. Falsely informed the Rexburg Police Department that Tylee was attending BYU, Idaho, and living with Vallow. Refused to produce the children to the Rexburg Police or the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare as required by a court order. Now, this was subscribed and sworn to before a notary of the public, and this was Ron Ball's statement, and that is the end. So hold on, guys. I gotta find you if you are there. That was a long affidavit, but a vital affidavit. Okay, I'm gonna look you up. I'm not sure if I can find you guys. So what do you think about this affidavit, David? Do you think that it's enough for a jury or a judge to find the conspirators guilty of conspiring? Let me see what we got here. Okay, I got you all now. Okay. Hi, Sarah Adams. This is garbage, Sarah says. Thanks for reading it, Graham Kelly Fitzgerald. You're welcome. Boy, do I have a dry mouth right now. Hey, and For you people that were here when the rude lawnmower and rude weed whackers were beside me, could you hear it? Okay, Mary Kennelly, Dutch Reagan. Many criminals have not been prosecuted because they have made a deal to give evidence. Melanie was in the cult. She knew what happened to zombies. Mary Kennelly, I endorse your statement there. I really believe that she knew what zombies meant. I don't know, Graham. I thought Casey Anthony was a closed case and then bang. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Very, very true, Mary. So I'll go back in some of what you were saying here. Too bad Alex Cox remains have been cremated. Another forensic autopsy might show what happened before his death. 100%. Do we really believe that he had the luck to die the day after Tammy's body was exhumed? He died December 12th. I believe that they exhumed Tammy's body on December 11th. She has always cooperated with law enforcement and is greatly responsible for the current. Yes, Dutch Reagan, thank you for saying that. Melanie has always cooperated, Melanie Gibb, with law enforcement and is greatly responsible for the current status. Yes, long live Melanie Gibb. We don't want anything to happen to her. She is crucial, vital to the cases that are going to be, in the future. So yes, Dutch Reagan, I do have some affinity for her. And I do try to find it in my heart to say that she really wouldn't have wanted anything to happen. The only problems I have with Melanie Gibb is she spoke in front of the police. You'll have to go back and listen to it. It's faint. It's behind them all gabbing in one of those police cams when it was Tylee and Lori and Melanie Gibb. They were all chatting over each other. So you'd have to go back where she says, oh, she can't believe she went to Charles's alone. She really can't believe that she was there alone with him. Oh, it's really scary. She acted. That was acting. There was nothing to be scared about with Charles. She was doing that as an actress and the benefit of Lori, so Lori could sustain her hogwash about Charles being dangerous to some degree. So I don't like Melanie Gibb for doing that because she falsified who Charles was to the police by doing that. Number two, when Charles died, where was her brains? Did not she connect the dots that Lori was planning on him dying? Like, what makes a person not understand when someone else, and in fact, it was two different people, it was Chad and Lori, were talking about Charles's death over and over from at least January 2019 to his death on July 11th, 2019. Therefore, why wouldn't Melanie Gibb put those pieces together? I'm ashamed of her. I'm ashamed of her. But yes, with the shame with my wrath that I have for her, I also adore her. I got like a split feeling for Melanie Gibb because she did not act in the defense of Charles. So I've said my piece. Yeah, Manuela says Melanie G has her own thing going. Don't kid yourselves. Yes, but um, I want to say that Dutch Reagan has been in Melanie's court the whole way because she sees how vital it is. Without Melanie, where would we be? And she's 100% right. Without Melanie Gibb, so I guess it's mum's the word. Keep our mouths quiet about Melanie. See what she does. See what more court cases and more affidavits show. And let's leave our final judgment for when the cases are closed. Let's see how we feel when the cases are closed. Melanie G knew a lot more. She strategically timed her interview with Nate and very carefully disclosed information that would make her appear a victim too. She knew, and she was also Chad and Lori's wedding. Was she really? I didn't know she was at Chad. And how do you know that, Rachel D? I don't believe in conspiracies. She's reading the facts. Yeah, I didn't get that. It's hard for me to jump in these chats and kind of put myself in between and then understand where you guys are at. Lori sent the police to Melanie Gibbs' front door. Right. Yes, I believe she was a witness at the wedding. Wow, Drowsy Doll. I did not know that. Melanie G is a very strong person. To come out was difficult. However, she has morals that she did the right thing. Yeah, but where were her morals before? That's what we're mystified were. She seems to have learned some certain morals after coming out. Prior to coming out, I'm not sure where her morals were. But again, we're going to give her a crown. We're going to crown her as a vital witness, and we'll try to leave our comments about her when everything's out in the wash, when the cases are closed, because they will disclose. And if you go back to what I said on that police interview with Lori Gibb and Tylee, you will see her downing Charles, making it sound like, yes, she might have been scared that Charles was dangerous, and why was she there all alone with him? It was so crazy. You could see that she made it up to supplement Lori's definition of Charles to the police. Yes, she lied. She outwardly lied to the police in a cunning way. So Melanie Gibbs isn't a ballerina. She doesn't tiptoe so lightly all the time. She knows how to put the army boots on, right, guys? She knows how to put the army boots on. Yes, Sarah, she's the state star witness. So let's not kick her with our own army boots. I believe Melanie G must be re-examine her life and religion. Melanie G is soul searching and disappointed in Lori and Chad. Well, I think so, Bella, and I think she should be disappointed in what attracted her to Lori. Why was she even in a friendship with her? Who? There's a lot. There's a lot of soul searching. Yes, Manuela. Later is better than never. Breaking, breaking. FBI arrest. Oh yeah, I saw that in New Hampshire. I did not see the arrest. We're in New Hampshire, Crane. We're in New Hampshire. I know those. I know Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. That's all my stomping grounds. Yes, I heard the arrest this morning, but I did not know where the arrest. They didn't disclose where the arrest was at that point. My dear Sarah, you're quite transparent. Okay, Costa Lima is complicated. They are doing the best they can. We'll take what we can get on these guys. Yep, that's true. Yeah, no insulting. We're not gonna insult people or put people down for having different opinions. You can explain them the way that you want to explain your opinion, but we're not going to throw dirt on someone else's opinion. But I don't think anyone really has. We're just getting too sensitive. We know that Melanie Gibb hasn't been pure. Let's leave it like that. We know that she needs to redeem herself immensely. Yeah, that's my theory. Yes, agree to disagree. Gibb gets no praise from me, says Jewel Weed. She would have never come forward if Lori didn't use her as an alibi. I wonder. That's yeah, Jewel Weed. That's quite interesting. Bedford. That's where the airport is. The small New Hampshire airport is in Bedford, New Hampshire. And that's a very affluent area, too. Extremely affluent. There is a troll behavior towards Sarah Adams. Oh, that meaning someone's talking to Sarah Adams like it's a troll, like it's someone that shouldn't be here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, let's cut out the troll behavior. I didn't see name calling except troll. I didn't see name calling. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't agree with Sarah, no offense, but she came into the scene. Yeah, I know Sarah. I've had quite lovely conversations with Sarah. So Sarah's not a troll, and Sarah has her own opinion. Yeah, and she's saying you don't have to agree with her. Yeah, we all feel different on it. And let's put it this way, guys, if in all sincerity, none of us have enough information at this point. That's why we need to wait until it ends. That's when we'll see the bigger pictures. They're only showing us little tiny parts. So we can come up with, our own ideas and opinions, but are they even going to stand true months from now or a few years from now? They might not. Yes, Sarah Adams is welcome. She's a dear. She's from Oregon. Am I right, Sarah? If I can remember, we've had a couple of late night conversations on message. She's from Ethically Uncool to call people names, not here to be attacked. Yes. Yes, no one's going to call people names. Sarah, you're welcomed. And now that I'm off reading this, I'm going to definitely keep my eyes open. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Catherine says love and kindness. Yes, love and kindness. Have your own opinion. Don't feel you can't state your own opinions. Just don't gear it to another person on the chat. Just state it as your fact. If it's your opinion, it's your fact. But you don't have to state it that you're against someone else. Melanie is self-serving and trying to make herself so she doesn't look so evil. I can agree with that right now. But let's see what she does. We all need heroes, and sometimes the heroes aren't the best heroes in the world. But we need heroes right now to bring justice for all of these murders, starting with Charles, ending with Tammy Daybell. All of their lives were worthy. All of them were good people. The two kids didn't have a chance. No, they're not going to charge the star witness, Sarah. Yeah, she did fear for her own life. Gibb did fear. And I can understand why she would. I would too. Because you don't know the prongs in this. We talked about this yesterday. You don't know how far reaching these tentacles are in this cult. I call it the Daybell cult for a reason. It is a subsection of a bigger cult. And that is what is just weird. Can't figure it out. Yes, Sarah, she's doing the best she can. No one pick on my friend Sarah Adams from Oregon, or I'll be upset, please. Hello, beautiful people. Love you all from New Orleans, says Laura Diaz Otten. I always want to say Austin. Welcome, Laura Diaz Otten. Multi-Siren says, I was under the impression from how she spoke that Mel knew Chad long before Lori. In fact, they were introduced at a meeting at which Chad was a speaker. Yeah, if I remember right, Multi-Sirens, one of the first interviews that Mel Gibb was on, she suggested that she knew him from afar. Like, she didn't know him. Like, she hadn't had any in-depth conversation. She had made it that she had been in his presence and that they might have said hi to each other. But it was truly when Lori met him that she got to know him further. That's how I took it. I could be wrong. Ash crazy. Gumshoe's mouth is tired. My jawbone hurts reading that 16-page affidavit. I'll be honest with you. I didn't look at how long it was before I started reading it. And sorry about the can you imagine my luck, the lawnmower and there was 2 weed whackers as well. You can't hear me? Someone can't hear me? Yes. Thank you, Catherine. Smash that thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Share out where you can. And do a little dance where you are. You can't hear me, Ash? Mad Jack. I love your channel, Graham. Great. Yeah, I've had people writing me. They want me to be their grandmother. 2 narcissistic sociopaths get together. That's how pure evil happens. You're 100% right, Maureen. 100%. 2 evil people. Evil, and evil. Yeah, now, yes, let's get on. Let's I think let's talk about Melanie Pawlowski. There you can get some real viable ideas and opinions about a Melanie that is bad. And I cannot protect Melanie Pawlowski in this thread. I'm sorry. I can protect Melanie Gibb because I agree with the people that understand that she makes the case. And it's like she's the money on this case. She is the action. So don't shoot ourselves in the feet. Yeah, does anyone know that? Can anyone? Great question, Monique Dawn. Monique says, does anyone know what happened in the custody case that was yesterday with Brandon Boudreaux? Did anyone get wind of that? Did anyone get wind of it? Not yet. Yeah, those are usually private. The only thing you can usually talk about from a family court is the disposition. So you can say, yes, I got custody, but you can't go, typically, because they're private court sessions, you're sworn into privacy laws that say you can't say why you got custody. You can tell people that you got custody. You can take the document to the school that the children go to, and you can redact the guts of the case, but you can't tell them why. But in this case, we know why she wouldn't have custody, right? Oh, good, multi-sirens. On the sleuth diggers? Great. Melanie G is important to the case no matter what anyone thinks. Yes, it's no question. We need her. We need her safe. We need her healthy. And we need her going in the right direction. Yes, I can't, I mean, really, I can't see that anyone would give her custody of any sort. It would be extreme supervised. Sometimes you have supervised, that means a relative can supervise it. Like, let's say, let's use just Brandon's father, since we already know about that he has a dad. So let's say they say, okay, Melanie, you can go to Brandon's father's on Sunday from 2 to 4. But they're not going to give that kind of lax supervision. They're going to require it institutional. So she'll probably have to go to a DHS office and have a DHS social worker or parent person do the supervision. It's not going to be a lax one. Sometimes they'll say meet at McDonald's and so-and-so's aunt's going to be there. But because we know all of the relatives and all of these families are crazy, no judge would award them a lax supervision. They tried to hunt them down at night with Alex. What, the kids? Is that who you're talking about, Ash Cray? Gumshoe Graham is old school. Eye for details. Like when my mom, grandma, and I would investigate something. I loved Graham and her old school eyes for details. Just love her views and vision. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Then went back to Brandon's parents again and got arrested. Yes. She went like 2 days before, and then she went back trying to go through his garage. Like all garages, it must have had a door, an entry into the house. So Melanie Pulowski was going through the garage, and you could hear the father of Brandon screaming to get out of his garage. Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for all the support you give my channel. And of course, at some times I'm going to need a moderator because, see, I can't see when I'm reading all this stuff. You know, I can't see, and I miss a lot of the comments. Jennifer Knight says, yes, but she must be questioning everything she's ever believed. So much BS is bought and sold with those people. Bought and sold, sorry. You're 100% right, Jennifer. Yes, it's unbelievable what's bought and sold with those. And it's all about the money. What comes down? Yeah, I remembered the Oregon, Sarah. What comes down to it is really the zombies and the portals and the, beyond the veil ability. All that stuff is secondary. It really is about the money so that they can live big. Yes, Manuela. Melanie Pulowski was the one that didn't show up to court when it was time to talk about custody of her children, she just decided not to go. Why would she? She's up in Rexburg, Idaho, playing with Alex Cox day in and day out. She wouldn't have time to go down to the Phoenix metropolitan area and go to a custody case for her 4 children. She needs to play with Alex. Oh, yes, Catherine, you say something true. All the teenagers, they don't know me, and they can't pull anything over my eyes. No, they can't. It's obviously the hearing deficit has made other senses more profound. And I know you guys are going to say, oh, that can't be true. I really believe when you are missing one of your senses, that all the other senses make up for it. My doctor told me when I was 28, when I found out that I had very little hearing, she told me if she woke up the next day with the type of loss that I have, she would be unable to function. But she says, because you've gone 28 years, you've adapted. Yeah, supposedly the 144,000 chosen to lead in the preparing of the people need to be couples. So that's probably why Alex and Zalumba married, and so did Melanie. Yes, Laura Diaz Otten. That's what I've thought all along. All these rush marriages were to fulfill that idea that it had to be couples only. Lori and Chad got married, Zalumba and Alex, Melanie and Ian. I don't know if Melanie Gibb and David Warwick were going to do the same. But of course, things changed their lives. Melanie's Gibb's life changed when it all came to her and she understood the dynamics, the serious dynamics of who these people really were. Yes, Rachel D says, well done to Brandon. He is doing his utmost to protect his children, and rightly so. It is not safe for Melanie to have contact or custody, as she has deemed at least 2 of her children to be zombies. Yes, 100%, Rachel. Yeah, Brandon is the man. I know, Mad Jack, that Brandon had to identify JJ, but lucky it was in pictures. I don't know. I mean, lucky it was in pictures. Isn't that something, Catherine? That's what I've said all along. You said it is quite clear that God says you should not want for the end times. You should not be looking for them or seek him. And that's what I feel, how selfish these people are, because they wanted to live beyond us. If let's say it's true, just for purposes of this little story, that the world's going to end July 22, and there's going to be 144,000 people left. They were so glad to push us out of the way. They're the type that if you were in a marathon race with them, they'd put their foot out to trip you because you were going to win. Yeah, how come we haven't heard, Catherine, how come we haven't heard from the first or the second husband. Lori's first husband and her second husband. And I heard that Zulema was married 6 times. No, they won't arrest Melanie Gibb. They're going to give her some type of immunity. That's what you get when you have goods. You trade those goods, and that's the way the system works. And she, just like everyone else, has the right to trade her goods. They are trying to stay out of fray. Just Tammy says, where was Alex getting his money to live on? He had a newer truck, moved from Arizona to Rexburg, job transfer. Did he get money for killing Charles and the kids? Oh, he got money. Someone was giving him money. We don't know that unless the police or the FBI have some type of ledgers that can show where he was getting money from. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I guess Dutch Reagan, yes, you're right. If she hasn't committed a crime, she doesn't need immunity. Oh, so I guess what I really meant to say is if she screws up on the witness stand, she will have immunity. That's probably what I should have said. If she was to make a mistake on the witness stand and fumble like most people do when they're scared, they're going to be easy on her. It's amazing how they truly believe they somehow have the authority and knowledge given to them by God about when the end of times are. I know, huh? So high on themselves, like no one else is important. Even though she has the goods for trade, she will pay dearly for the rest of her life for falling in with these. Yes, and she fell in with them quick. It wasn't like she knew them for years. Melanie Gibb did not know them. She knew of them, but she did not know them deeply for years. Yes, thank you, Sarah Adams. Did JJ and Kaylee have insurance policies? I know that Tylee was supposed to be getting a package, some type of inheritance, and I'm not sure. Some people have mentioned 18. Some people mentioned 21. Some people mentioned that she got some when they found out that he died, but it would have gone to Lori because Lori obviously was her custodial person, her being her mother. I know, huh, Mary? The first and second husbands are probably happy that they dodged the bullet and they're keeping a low profile. Yeah, and a lot of people, I say that about Zach Cox. Now, you all know who Zach is, right? He's Lori's brother's son, so Adam's son. And Zach was living with Lori and Charles, JJ and Tylee in 2019. I'm not sure about 2018, but I'm sure that he was living there in 2019. He was a student at some university or college in the greater Phoenix area. And Zach is going to be another Melanie Gibb. He is going to have some great information from the inside of the house. It's not going to be just hearsay like Melanie was getting just what Lori was telling her. Zach is going to have a bird's eye viewpoint. He's going to know from seeing and hearing what was going on inside of that house. He is also, oh, bye, Sarah, if you're going. So glad you got to come. Yes, Melanie Pulowski is a psycho. You got it right. You got it right. And they said they are looking into her, that she is a person of interest. Somewhere I read that or heard that. She is a person of interest. Oops, the life insurance to be turned over to their cult religion. Did Alex know that he was going to die with crazy promises of the beliefs they had? Yeah. You never know what they were told, and you would never know what they believed. Garbage, right? Sheer garbage. Bye, Sarah. Come back again. I'm drinking because of that reading. Talking about being prepared. I had no idea it was 16 pages, but that's what you heard. It was 16 pages of that policeman, Ron Ball's words of why he charged Chad Daybell with conspiracy as a co-conspirator with Lori Daybell, even though they were calling her Vallow because a lot of the times her name was Vallow at the time the incident occurred. So that's what's hard. They referred to her as Vallow because of the deaths of the children. She was still a Vallow. I know. Can you imagine being Ian Pulowski's ex-wife? Can you really believe that your ex would marry someone so crazy? And not only did he marry someone crazy, he married, when you marry someone, you married the whole family. Look at the family he has. Janice Cox, Summer Shetlett. I mean, Ad, Alex Cox. I know he's dead, but he's still family. Oh my God. And how they ever got on to that 48 hours show, Summer and Janice, and made out Alex to be the family love bug. Like the one you just want to cuddle up with your little cozy blanket and watch a movie with. Sure, girls. Oh, she's not Laura Diaz. She isn't going to do any interviews. You know why? Because she can't blame Charles and Kay World what evil people they were and how they were after Lori and how they were after the children. She has no reason now because she's not going to do that about her aunt. She isn't going to do that about Chad. And she's because she's a cult member. She isn't going to go against the cult. I know, Catherine. I read. I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up, guys? No, Monique says. The lawyer. Nope. Okay. What happened? No, you're good. Okay. The lawyer for Lori told Judge Lori wanted to be addressed as Mrs. Daybell. LOL. The judge, of course, complied. Oh, yeah. Let's lump them all in one evil name. It just serves the it's no longer Chad Daybell's house and property. Considering they were married, it's her property in her house as well. So, guess what, Lori? Your children were found on your property. I'm in Seattle and it seems like it's breaking up. Okay, I got everything plugged in. So I don't know what it could be. We all know that Lori was the dangerous one, not Charles. Yes. Lori, please, girl, nobody gives two hoots what you want to be dressed as. You're right. It makes no difference if their marriage is legit when children are dead. No immunity or anything. Correct. Because it's considered child abuse. It still falls under child abuse. It's not only murder, but it's child abuse. Hi, Tina. Welcome. Great, Catherine. I'm glad I'm clear. I heard Alex was a truck driver. When I heard he wasn't working, was he murdering for money longer than we know? That's what I think. I think Lori and Alex had game plans for a long time together. I guess will become a national holiday with both of them when they both go to prison. Hallelujah, yes. When they're in prison and we know they're tucked in each night in their little cots, their little iron cots, we will rest better. Yes, Crystal. Crystal says it's very sad that so many people had to die so that Chad and Lori could be together. But you know, the only thing they would have been missing is the money. If they let everyone live, they wouldn't have had Tammy's money and they wouldn't have had JJ and Tylee's money. So that's what comes down to it. It was the money. They needed the money in their brains and they were willing to kill for it. Yes, Manuela, Alex was indeed the family hitman. Yes, greed, Rachel D. It was all greed. It's all, yes, and throw some lust into it, Multi Sirens. Yep. Yeah. I wrote to someone, they wrote me something funny in a comment, and I wrote them back. I want tissue paper put in the court so when the tear eyes touch it, it turns a vibrant color. That way we at least know her eyes are wet. Kelly Fitzgerald says, yes, Graham, the Dateline interview was before they found out how smart the law is. Right. You're so right, Kelly. They thought they were outsmarting everybody. They thought you could tell by their arrogance, how arrogant they were in their interviews, that they really thought that they had law enforcement outsmarted, that they had the general public outsmarted, and they were going to give us a whipping. And they did. They whipped us. They said, oh, we're no good. We make up things. We exaggerate. We put down their family, and they have such a beautiful family. Yes, that's what I said, Mad Jack. I want tissues that, just like in the pool, you know how they always told kids, if you urinate in the pool, it'll show because it'll turn a color. I don't know if they make an agent like that, but if she really cries, if there's really tears, that it'll elicit a color of her tissue. But she won't know that. Do you really believe they wanted to be together for love? Or do you think Lori would have killed Chad? Yes. Jackie Martinez, I just think it would have been time. In time, like Melanie Gibb said, she can't wait for anything. So when she gets an idea in her head, she goes full steam. She can't wait. So the next man she met, she would discard Chad, and she'd go full steam for him. Didn't Melanie say that was her worst part of her personality, was she had no patience and she couldn't wait? Yeah, we want crocodile tissues. If she cried, she did it for effect, not because she feels guilt. Oh, no, she feels righteous, Manuela. She did the right thing. We're the bad people. That's what I don't like about them. I really don't like their arrogance. They're so arrogant that it touches each person individually. Like, each person that knows about this case and has some basic understanding feels like they put us down because they are so entitled. Their entitlement is so way above us that we could never kneel in front of them. Their grace is just so magical, and it's just terrible how they think of themselves. Now, I did see, hi, Wisconsin. Hi, Janine Maya. Hey, listen, I did see someone sent me, thank you if you're in this chat, someone sent me I believe it was an email or maybe it was a comment, and they put a link in it. And it was summer at the house, at Lori's house up in Rexburg. Oh, I know. I wonder if there was some feedback coming from the device. Lori was not crying at all. Her hair and mask were covering her face, and she was wiping. Sweet. She has no tears, no remorse, no cares. Yep. Yeah. Bipolar, narcissist, she's something. I don't know if she's bipolar, maybe unipolar, because bipolar should get severely depressed. And I never heard that she didn't function. Like, her global functioning scale was always high as far as I was concerned. But maybe I'm wrong. Now it's downpouring. Now that we got rid of the weed whackers and the lawnmowers, now this is what happens in Florida. You'll be sitting here and everything's just fine, and then bang, it's downpouring. During Chet's time on TV, Chet kept his bottom. Oh, Catherine, are you observant? Catherine says during Chad's time on TV yesterday, that's what I think she's talking about, Chad kept his bottom lip rolled under his top lip. That is a sign of wishing to go back in time, to do things differently. Too late now, Chad. You did your dirty, murderous acts. Yes, and I've also heard Dr. Phil has described that as, I forget what he called it, but it's almost a sign of guilt as well. Graham, when Lori saw that July 22nd came and went, she would be ready for Chad to become a zombie too. Yeah. I'm wondering how many people. Now my computer's, because of the storm, I might have to close. Are you guys seeing me? Oh, you're in London? JJ's in London and it's raining. Oh, so we got the same weather. It's pouring here. So I might lose good connection. No one I know cries out of one eye. Poor Lori, Lisa says. She's different than most. Yeah, in many different ways. Oh, yes, Crystal says she's in Seattle. And it's like that. Yeah, but Seattle, the best thing I like about Seattle is flying over those mountains and hills. Flying into Seattle's one of the most beautiful sights ever. Okay, I just had to plug in my phone so I could read. Shoulders hunched to look smaller. What do you mean, Maureen? What do you mean the shoulders hunched to? You mean Lori did that? Yeah, she better sweat, Prius. She better sweat, like you said. They are just biding their time because they believe the world will before they are sentenced. Oh, yeah. Sharon Halverson says, hello from Canada. I wonder how many times Tylee met Chad. Could it be she didn't believe his BS, so she had to go? Oh, yeah. She would have been given it. She also knew Charles was killed. Yes, two things. She knew Charles, and I bet she overheard conversations with her mother and Chad. I bet she heard Chad and Lori devising the death of Charles, the killing of Charles. She forgot to dab the other eye. Graham, you should do a live on July. I will. End of the World Day. I will. In fact, we might do it as long as I can, like have a marathon, have a live marathon. When reality sets in, oh, I wouldn't want to be there. I know, huh? What will she throw in her jail cell then? Multi-Siren says, I think that crying act was to influence her son as well. Oh, yeah, because she heard he was there. They announced that Kelsey and Kobe were there. Right. She doesn't have that syndrome, Copper syndrome. They mentioned that. I'm going to tell you, a doctor mentioned it recently. And I can't remember who the doctor was. So the YouTuber must have gotten it off the doctor's channel. But in fact, I was talking to him. I was talking to the doctor, and that's what he had mentioned. I'll have to find his site. In fact, oh, he'll be a good one. He's a psychiatrist, so maybe we can do a live with him. I've never done anything. I don't know how to use a computer besides have a live with someone else, but we'll figure it out. Daybell must be going nuts because she can't dye her hair. I don't know. It looked from afar. I mean, did anyone think it looked blonde or did it look gray? I wonder if Gilbert PD interviewed Tylee separate over Charles's death. I heard Monique, I had heard that Lori would not let them interview her because she was unrepresented and she was a minor. That's what I heard. Now, that's something I can't, qualify as fact, but I did hear that at one point. Oh, yes, Monique, Tylee knew something. Yes, Lori is rough, Laura. Laura Diaz says Lori looks rough. Yeah, she's a gang member. She's a 47-year-old gang cult. Yeah. Her hair looks like a mop, says JJ. Well, she might be using that mop in the jail. I've had a bad connection, data only. It skips. Oh, I'm sorry. I know that when it was raining, for the 5 minutes that it rained, I had that circle thing on my phone. Nancy Grace had Lori's ex-best friend, April. Oh, did she really? So let me read. I know April, she's the one from Hawaii, that Lori had made a special trip over there and asked April to be part of the 144,000. So let's see what Laura Diaz says. Nancy Grace had Lori's ex-best friend, April, a couple of days ago, and she was saying poor Tylee was always sick and a different doctor, but they could never figure out what was wrong with her. That is sad. I did hear that. I didn't know it came from the Nancy Grace show, but I did hear that someone had reported that Tylee had always been sick. Tylee also said that Charles was a really upstanding, yes, Manuela. She said that in the interview with Melanie Gibb, when Melanie Gibb told the cops that she shouldn't have gone to Charles's alone, that she was scared. If my children were dead, I would be crying uncontrolled. Of course, you'd be in shock. Don't forget, as far as we know, I'm just joking, Lori only found out June 9th where her children were, right? So wouldn't she be just about crippled if she had just found out June 9th of 2020 that both of her children were dead in her backyard, dead and buried in her backyard? I still haven't had time, guys, but I'm going to try to write an official from the fire protection in Idaho, because I know that fall times is peak season when they ask people to shut down their fires. So I'm going to write an official letter asking for those dates to make sure that that it wasn't a time where it was red zoned or whatever they call it when you can't have burns. Yes, we'll do the live on July 22. Talking about scheduling things, not only will we have the live on July 22, guys, what are we going to do for Charles on July 11th? That has been from day one my whole reason of ever getting online myself. Like, I've been watching the cases and staying pretty mute. But as far as getting online, I came in when I realized that the Charles Vallow had been betrayed by the cops in the interviews, by the intake workers at Community Bridges who did his intake for the psychological evaluation. So what I wanted to ask you is, we've been talking about this for a month, and I want to thank you guys. I can't see how many people I have, but I have around 1,400 viewers. And I'm going to tell you that I got them all in less than 3 weeks, or just about 3 weeks. So I am so happy, because it got me over the 1,000 mark where they let you use your phone. But I haven't really figured out how to do that completely. But anyways, July 11th, to me is much more important than July 22nd because it's Charles Vallow Day. We got to honor him somehow. Glad you do this channel. That's because you're wonderful. Oh, thanks. She's going to have a major conniption fit, Crystal. Yes, she is. A life celebration for Charles. Yeah, so what can we do? An online gathering? An online memorial for him? I mean, yes. Hope Fremont PD got all they need before any more evidence corrupted. Right, exactly, Monique. I wonder how Lori will feel when the world doesn't end. I wonder what she'll do. Because they said that Chad was visiting her every day at the jail until July 9th when he got arrested. So that he was keeping that whole crazy thing alive in her head. But she believed it herself. I will always say, remember Charles, he said that she was going crazy for the past 4 to 5 years. But in the last month or so, this was in January of 2019, he said she was really falling off the ledge. Yes, a life celebration is a good idea. Thank you. That's what we'll do, guys. July 11th is very important. Yes, she's a 47-year-old gang leader, without question. In Ontario, we have banned burns. Yes, that's why I can't believe the year before Idaho had big burn restrictions. Graham, wouldn't it be something if Lori shaped her head and carved cross into her forehead like the Manson girls did with Schwartz? Yeah, she should. That's what she's all about. She's evil. Rachel says it's scary to think that they could preach this evil cult ways to others in jail, especially Chad. Lori will probably focus on getting I don't know what that is, a purple husband, a perpetual husband? Is that what that is? Oh, a pen pal husband. I couldn't read it. Oh, so Lori will probably focus on getting a pen pal. Yeah. Of course, Rachel. Number 6. Munchausen syndrome by proxy, Crystal says. Yeah, Laura says she's aged 20 years. I even watched it last. I know I annoy you guys by saying this. The most annoying thing that Lori has ever done that just grates on me is when she said to that news reporter in Hawaii, when he said, the whole world's worrying about your children, aren't you? And she looked at him sarcastically and said, that's great. That resonates in my brain, how sarcastic she could be 3 months after she murdered her children. Like they meant nothing to her. When you say, that's great, in the tone that she did. We know Chad wasn't burning branches before the storms. They got him, Manuela. They got him. They got it. They got the bodies. They got the burned body, and they got the statement that he's burning limbs. Yep, limbs, he said. They got him. He's going down. It ripped me up when she smirked walking past Kay and Larry in court. She knew where they were. I know. Mad Jack, it's unbelievable. She's worse than Letitia because at least Letitia gave the 1,000-mile stare like she was in the ozone. Lori doesn't have the 1,000-mile stare, like the crazy stare. She's got the, I got you guys. You're not going to beat me. That attitude. Charles was blown off as well as was the leader of the church he brought with him. The police let Charles down and society. 100%. Catherine, 100%. Inger Arts says, did anyone else see the family energy scorecard email between Chad and Lori? No. Did anyone else see the family energy scorecard? No, what does that mean? And what are you saying? What could they have possibly used to make the fire not have a suspicious smell? Just a lot of fire in very small pots. No, you weren't blocked. No one gets blocked. You know what happens sometimes? If you don't see your comments or your, I guess it's your comments. If you don't see your comments, it's because YouTube will block them thinking they're suspicious. It's not me. I have no live capabilities of blocking, and I don't block anything else because YouTube puts them, they go, it might be spam or it might contain bad words. Yes, Maureen. He shot Tylee. He did not shoot a raccoon. Yes, Samantha Darcy, I think Lori and Alex might have dismembered her. Just opinion. Just my opinion. I think Lori and Alex dismembered her. If the police had only not let that psycho Alex Cox loose after murdering Charles, very good chance those two yes. Misty says that the two children would be alive now if they never let Alex go. And same with Tammy. 100%, Misty. I agree. We are getting this in our papers in the UK, says Rachel Slocum. One of the most incredulous crimes of the time, of course. What does it mean, family energy? Yeah, I didn't get that whole thing. Did I miss it again? Do you think Lori helped? Yes. Let me see. Members of the family were rated with numbers, and Lori, out light and dark. Yes. Oh, I get what you're saying. Sorry. Let me read back your original one so now I understand what you were saying. If I can find you. I'm trying to find your original comment so I can apply the light and the dark to it. Ingrid agreed, Judy. So Ingrid Arts, I gotta look for that. I'm scrolling up to look for your original comment that I questioned. I can't find it. I can't find that original comment. I gotta put glasses on. Okay. Still looking, guys. Yes, it's good that Lori and Chad cannot communicate. God bless on that one. Well, wouldn't you know it, I can't find the original. Mrs. Daybell must be going nuts because she can't dye her hair, but that's not what was the original comment. Okay, I can't find it. There was only dark beings there was only dark beings acted through the acts of Lori and Chad, plus Alex and Oliver involved. Yeah, but they made the dark beings at a whim. They would just make them dark. One day they were light, and the next day they were dark. When they were bothered by them. Yeah, she rated. Melanie Gibb said that Oprah was the darkest person in the world. Yes, that Lori had said Oprah was the darkest person in the world. Have you checked out the people doing tarot cards about this? Some are very right. Reno, Nevada. No, I haven't. I haven't checked out any tarot cards. Left Undone channel has the energy email about zombies. Oh, yes. It graded the family. Yes, I saw that, Catherine. They graded, like, Tylee was 4 point something. She was high. And JJ was light. What do you mean, Maureen Walsh? You said Tylee was prepared before leaving Pioneer Road? Oh, I get okay, I get it. They did something to her at Pioneer Road so that when she arrived at the property, they bury her. Yeah. 20,000 zombies in the U.S., Maureen Walsh says. Well, I must be one of them. I better not go near Lori and Chad. Hope someone's door cam caught something. And where would that, in response to what? At Chad's? Yeah. Oh, at Lori's too. Oh, I get it. What about how Chad manipulated Tammy by saying her grandmother was sending him visions? Oh, I'd like to punch him. What about that, Maureen? I'd like to punch him. Just so she would obey his every command, like, go see your parents while I keep burning Tylee. Oh, he's so sick. Think we should do a minute silence for Charles because his concerns were not heard through all of his efforts. Thank you, Rachel. You mean on July 11th? Is that what you're talking? I'm going to write this down if that's what you're talking about, July 11th. A minute of silence. Any other things that we should do on July 11th in celebration of Charles's life? Yes, Maureen, they couldn't put the whole body. I know that people have. Yes, thank you, Lauren. Laura Diaz Otten. Stand in line. JJ, someone said the Amish people made a video game about zombies. Did anyone hear that? No, I didn't. Deborah Airy says, Grams, you certainly have the most unique and genuine channel I have come across. I am sure you will go far with this platform. You are one authentic woman, and your want is sure to help many. Thank you so much, Deborah. I really appreciate that. I really do, because I know there's some great creators out there. So, we're up against a lot of great people out there. It would be awesome if we could share poems. Ooh, what a nice sharing poems. Yes, I like that one a lot. Someone's going to write up about a stand-up guy. Tylee's words. Yes, anywhere on the route. Yes, Deb Graham is so sincere. It would be awesome if we could share poems. Lori Alex dismembered her. Yes, I was on another channel. I know this sounds weird. I don't know if anybody believes me or not. I had premonitions that Chad buried children on his property. Who would do that? Yes, Chad. Yes, I believe you, Catherine. Sounds extremely plausible to me. Manuela says Chad's a slimy monster from the bowels of hell. Jessica says, what time are we planning this for? Are there any of Charles' family members that might want to be featured on your channel that day? Well, I can certainly ask. Let me write that down, Jessica. I can try to communicate with them. Okay. Ditto. Talk about how Charles was a great father. Oh, yes. Yeah. I think it is very, very right to have a day honoring Charles. That man tried so hard. If the police had done their job properly, I truly believe Charles and the children would be, yes, 100%. Everyone would be alive. We wouldn't have met through this forum, because the reason we all have met now is because of Charles, JJ, Tylee, and Tammy Daybell. And of course, all their family members that love and adore them. We could do a seance and try and enter Chad's portal. Yeah, can we subliminally punch him, Maureen? Yes, he does, Laura Diaz. She says Chad's face looks like a total deviant. Yes, and he sucks in those lips like Catherine had mentioned. He sucks in those lips, and it looks like he's in the face. Actual looks like he's in the bowels of hell. Like, it looks like he's seeing hell. I don't know how to explain that look. I do remember Melanie Gibb talking about Lori telling her the kids were zombies, and Tylee said, "Not me, Mom." Imaging that girl's fear, knowing what happens to zombies. Oh, how awful, Leslie. I know. I think it was just in the police affidavit that I read Ron Ball's. He mentioned that in this affidavit. And yes, can you imagine the fear in that girl when her mother called her a zombie? Monique, I think, is saying that Chad looks smug. Yeah, they have this honorary look to them. They have this righteousness that we wouldn't have if we were sitting in Melanie Pulowski's seat, Lori's seat, Chad's seat, Ian's seat. We would not have the entitlement looks that they portray. This is very real. The demon possessed. Be careful if you don't touch or go near it. Yes. Chad looked like a wooden puppet. Movable wooden string controlled. Yes, drowsy doll. For someone who is religious, no remorse. I did that. So true. They look exactly like you said. I don't live in them. I try to sneak them. I don't get stuck in them, and I often try to talk myself out of them. But most often, as time passes, what I see you should come to fruition, sadly. I know, Laura Diaz Otten. I feel so bad for both children. I'm hoping, I pray, I'm putting my hands together right now that they did not know what was coming. That JJ and Tylee had no conscious belief of what might be forthcoming. I wonder why Tylee didn't reach out to Colby. Yeah, who knows? I mean, really, would have anyone have believed her? Just like they didn't believe Charles? You know how no one believed Charles? Would they have believed a child in an adult world? I don't know. And Colby, my heart breaks for him. He loved those kids with all of his heart. Yes, yes, he's torn. He lost his mother. He lost Charles, who he had such affinity for. And then he lost his siblings. Great, Samantha Darcy. July 11th. Yes. We'll figure out the time and stuff before then. We're just devising the plans. I don't want to be too complete with plans, because then I'll be like Lori. I don't want to make too big of a plans like they always claim she was a big planner. She probably never thought her mother could ever go. Oh, I know, Sharon Halverson. Who would have thought? Yes, let's all play that they felt minimal or no physical pain. They were abused emotionally, called them zombies. Thank you, Drowsy Doll. I hope they just went to bed and didn't wake up. Same here. That's what I was thinking, because that's why maybe they drugged them before bed. Maybe that's why it was always in the middle of the night. Maybe they drugged the kids and they never woke up or something. Yes, Monique, no pain, no torture. Yeah, JJ, me too. I thought the video had frozen. Neither one of them made an expression, the attorney or Chad. Yeah, when we were watching, when the judge was reading the charges and whatnot. Yes, man. Yes, using the word mother for women like Lori dishonors all good mothers. She's a non mom. She's a non mom. I wonder what Charles thought about Joseph dying and not being claimed from the morgue. I know, huh? Crystal says Lori and Chad are both evil. Yeah, Jessica A., that's what peed me off all the time. They always looked like and acted like they were above everyone. And in Summer and Janice manifest that same persona as well. Summer and Janice make it like we are beneath them, just like Lori, just like Chad. They all have that evil kind of, they think that their evilness is above us. So guys, I think I'm going to end now. I always get tired. If Charles believed that Joseph Ryan had molested Colby, he probably didn't think too much of it. But Charles was a religious man, a true religious man. Yeah. Leslie Burnell says, I think there should be a monument erected in downtown Rexford to remind the world that Giles valiantly tried to save his children and still loved his wife and wanted to help her. Yes, he knew she was very ill. You're right. From his eyes, from our eyes, we want to see her condemned to the max. But Charles wanted her to be helped. Oh, yeah, there's a holiday this week. Their judgment is coming. Evil is evil, says Paula Langton. Yes, Paula, their judgment is coming. You're welcome, Catherine. I hope you got something out of me reading the entire affidavit from Ron Ball. And I'm going to obviously listen back to the parts where the lawnmower was there. And if I feel that it's really bad, then I might redo that part and make it a two-part so that other people can listen if they want. We had yesterday, oh yes, happy Canada Day to you all. Yeah, you had yours yesterday. Oh, Canada, however that goes. I forget. Yes, thank you, Gumshoe Graham. Thanks to everyone to support. Yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. As people say, like, subscribe, and share out where you can. And yes, let's wait to hear what happens with the Brandon and Melanie custody case. Let's find out. Any word? No, I didn't know. Marilyn, before I got online, there was no word. So I have no clue. I'm sure someone's going to get it. I'm sure someone will have some resolution in that case from yesterday. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Boy, is that windy. Do you see the wind? You probably don't see it. I'm going to put that on. Oh my God. We don't need just the control. Thank you, guys. As I say, look out for the ugly. It's ugly here right now. It's like a typhoon. Chad, Lori, leave all Have kids a great alone. Day. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. We don't need no cult religion. We don't need just control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. We don't need no cult religion. We don't need just control. No dark ratings are upon us. Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. Hey, Chad, Lori, leave all kids alone. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil. All in all, it's just another lie beyond the veil.